Hello?
Hello, Sidney. Remember me?
What do you want?
I want you. It's showtime.
From 1996 to today, the Scream franchise has been a masterclass in meta horror, equal parts slasher thrills, and sly commentary on the genre itself. Across 6 feature films plus an MTV series, directors and writers have laced the universe with hidden winks, self-referential jokes, and callbacks that reward only the most eagle-eyed fans. But even lifelong devotees have overlooked some of the cleverest tricks Wes Craven and later filmmakers tucked into the shadows. We've hunted down 7 of the best deep cuts, from behind the camera cameos to foreshadowing that took decades to pay off. Stick around, because our #1 reveal will change how you watch every sequel. Kirby Lives, the hidden proof. Richie, Jack Quaid, sits at a laptop late at night. On the right side of his YouTube screen, a recommended video thumbnail appears for just a second. Interview with survivor Kirby Reed. It's a tiny background detail, but it settled one of the biggest decade-long debates in Scream fandom: the mystery of Kirby Reed. In Scream 4 from 2011, Kirby, played by Hayden Panettiere, is left bleeding on the porch after being stabbed by Charlie. Director Wes Craven refused to confirm whether she lived or died, telling interviewers, "It's up to the audience until we make another movie." For years, fan theories flourished: frame-by-frame analysis of her final breaths, petitions to save Kirby, and convention Q&A sessions where Panettiere was repeatedly asked if she thought her character survived. When Radio Silence directors Matt Bettinelli-Ofen and Tyler Gillett took over for Scream 2022, they decided to reward those loyal fans with a stealth confirmation. During a scene where Richie's researchers stab Lore, the art department filled the YouTube sidebar with fake recommendations. One was a true crime documentary interview with survivor Kirby Reed, complete with a thumbnail of Panettiere from a 2011 publicity still. The news channel's lower third shows the reporter as S. Carpenter, a dual wink to Sam Carpenter and horror icon John Carpenter. How they pulled it off. The Easter egg was filmed in secret in Atlanta during a break in principal photography. To keep the cameo quiet, the VFX team composited the clip in post-production and used stock ambient noise so that no one on set would realize it contained a major reveal. Only a handful of crew members and Hayden Panettiere's agent knew about the plan. Even some editors working on earlier cuts didn't notice it at first. Fan discovery and reaction. When the film hit theaters in January 2022, eagle-eyed viewers immediately began posting screenshots on Twitter and Reddit. Within 48 hours, Kirby Lives was trending globally, and Panettiere herself tweeted a winking emoji, effectively confirming the long-running theory. Horror news sites like Bloody Disgusting and Fangoria ran features analyzing the frame, citing it as one of the cleverest modern franchise Easter eggs. Payoff in Scream 6. In 2023, Paramount officially announced Hayden Panettiere's return for Scream 6, with Kirby promoted to an FBI agent investigating the new Ghostface killings. Directors Bettinelli-Ofen and Gillett later revealed in interviews that the hidden YouTube clip was their way of testing the waters and building excitement before they even had a contract with Panettiere. Why it matters. It demonstrates how Scream keeps its meta spirit alive, a sequel dropping clues about the next film hidden in plain sight on a fictional computer screen. It also shows how the franchise uses fandom as a storytelling partner, rewarding viewers who pause, rewind, and scour each frame for lore. Legacy of the Easter egg. The Kirby reveal is now cited in marketing classes as an example of participatory cinema, where fans help spread the message faster than any studio campaign. It also redefined how subtle filmmakers can be. The clip lasts less than 2 seconds, but changed expectations for the entire franchise. So the next time you watch Scream 2022, pause on Richie's laptop screen. That tiny recommendation video isn't filler, it's the franchise tipping its mask and saying, yes, Kirby survived and you heard it here first. Number 2, Scream 6, Subway Horror Poster Easter Eggs. Halloween night, New York City. Sam, Tara, and the core 4 squeeze onto a jam-packed subway car. Masked riders and flickering lights turn a routine commute into pure dread. A haunted subway of references. Production designer Michelle Laliberte confirmed that every poster, sticker, and graffiti tag on that train was handpicked to honor decades of horror. Look over the passengers' shoulders and you'll spot dozens of real horror movie titles. Us, The Babadook, The Fly, Ready or Not, a nod to directors Radio Silence, and even Midsommar. A torn flyer for Blackmore University teases the film's third act setting. Hidden Ghostface multiples. Beyond the obvious mask wearers, at least 6 background extras are dressed as different Ghostfaces, carefully timed to enter and exit frames so viewers never see them all at once. Director Tyler Gillett said in interviews that they wanted the audience constantly second-guessing whether a random commuter is about to strike. Why it works. This scene channels the anxiety of real urban travel. Anyone could be dangerous while doubling as a horror fan scavenger hunt. It also underlines Scream's long-running theme. Horror isn't confined to quiet suburbs anymore. It rides the subway with you. Wes Craven's Freddy Krueger cameo. The hallway of Woodsboro High is nearly empty. Principal Hembry storms out of his office, irritated after disciplining pranksters in Ghostface masks. As he turns a corner, a janitor in a striped sweater mops the floor, red and green horizontal bands unmistakable to any horror fan. That janitor? Wes Craven himself, the very man who created A Nightmare on Elm Street and, of course, directed Scream. It lasts only a few seconds, but this cameo is a treasure chest of horror history. In early 1996, Craven and screenwriter Kevin Williamson wanted Scream to acknowledge the entire slasher lineage it was about to reinvent. Craven suggested a blink and you'll miss it Easter egg that would salute his most famous monster, Freddy Krueger, without breaking the fourth wall. He personally donned a wool fedora combo identical to Freddy's, even choosing a similar mop handle to echo Freddy's glove silhouette when held upright. Behind the camera details. Filming location, Santa Rosa High School in California. Ironically, the production moved there only after the local school board in Sonoma County rejected the script for excessive violence. That controversy forced the crew to relocate and indirectly set up the perfect hallway for Craven's cameo. Wardrobe authenticity. The striped sweater came straight from the wardrobe department of New Nightmare 1994, the meta Elm Street sequel Craven had finished just 2 years earlier. The name tag on the janitor's shirt reads simply Fred, a sly wink that many first-time viewers never noticed. Layered meaning. By dressing as Freddy, Craven is literally cleaning up after his own creation, a self-deprecating nod to the end of the Elm Street era and the start of something new. Principal Hembry, played by Henry Winkler, even shouts, "Not you, Fred," which works as both a character line and an in-joke for horror devotees. Connections to the wider franchise. The cameo fits Scream's mission of blending satire and scares. Williamson's script constantly references other horror films. Jamie Kennedy's character openly cites Elm Street as a rulebook for survival. So inserting the man behind Freddy into the frame is the ultimate meta gesture. Later sequels continue the spirit of hidden homages. Scream 2 references Friday the 13th, Scream 3 mocks Hollywood trilogies, and Scream 4 winks at the 2010 remake craze. Reception and legacy. At early test screenings, audiences who caught the cameo reportedly cheered out loud, prompting editors to hold the shot an extra half second in the final cut. Horror scholars often cite this moment as a perfect example of 1990s postmodern horror, where filmmakers acknowledge genre history while still scaring you. Even decades later, new viewers discover the cameo thanks to HD transfers and streaming freeze frames, keeping it one of the franchise's most beloved secrets. So the next time you revisit Scream, keep your eyes peeled during the hallway scene. The janitor isn't just a custodian, he's the father of Freddy Krueger, mopping up his own legacy while handing the slasher crown to Ghostface. The stab, meta-continuity gags. Throughout Scream 2 and beyond, we keep glimpsing clips from the in-universe film series Stab, a fictional retelling of the original Woodsboro murders. How the gag began. For Scream 2, Kevin Williamson invented Stab as a way to comment on Hollywood's habit of sensationalizing real tragedies. Wes Craven went further, filming stab scenes with exaggerated violence and garish lighting to parody cheap slasher cash-ins. Hidden layers across the series. In Scream 3, the production of Stab 3 Return to Woodsboro becomes the setting for the actual killings, creating a movie within a movie within a movie effect. Props from earlier Scream films appear as set dressing on the Stab soundstage, Sidney's high school photos, Tatum's police reports, many visible only for a few frames. Scream 4 opens with a Stab 6 viewing that turns out to be part of Stab 7, a double fake-out that literally pulls viewers 2 layers deep. By Scream 2022, fans argue online about which Stab sequels are canon, mirroring real-world horror fandom debates. Real-world references. The Stab logo intentionally echoes the font from 80s slashers like Friday the 13th, a subtle nod that design is confirmed in commentary tracks. Several Stab actors are played by recognizable Hollywood names. Heather Graham as Casey and Luke Wilson as Billy Loomis. Cameos many casual viewers forget. Wes Craven himself directed these fake movie scenes with deliberately cheaper lighting and campy acting, joking that they were his chance to make the bad slasher I never made. Cultural impact. Film scholars often cite Stab as one of the best examples of mise en abîme, a story inside itself in modern cinema. It provides a running commentary on how media exploits violence, an idea that has grown even more relevant in the age of true crime podcasts and streaming docuseries. Number 5, the ever-changing rules to survive. Randy Meeks' Jamie Kennedy stands in a crowded living room at Stu's house party, lecturing the other teens about how to outsmart a horror movie killer. He's funny, frantic, and absolutely serious. His speech is the heartbeat of Scream's meta-horror. Birth of the rules. Screenwriter Kevin Williamson wanted Scream 1996 to be a slasher that knew it was a slasher. While drafting the script in Palm Springs' condo, he listed every cliche he'd grown up watching. The virgin survives, never say I'll be right back, don't drink or do drugs. These became Randy's famous monologue, which Williamson has said was inspired by his own movie marathon conversations with friends. Director Wes Craven let Kennedy improvise around the text, encouraging natural energy and making the rules feel like a party game rather than exposition. Evolution across the sequels. Scream 2 from 1997, Williamson updated the concept to hit the era of blockbuster follow-ups. Randy outlines sequel rules. Higher body count, death scenes more elaborate, the killer is superhuman, surviving things no normal person could. These mirrored Hollywood trends of the 90s, where Friday the 13th and Halloween sequels were all about bigger, bloodier spectacle. Scream 3 from 2000. New writer Aaron Krueger and Craven leaned into the idea of a trilogy finale. Randy, now deceased, delivers a videotape with trilogy rules. The killer's motives are tied to the hero's past. Anyone, even the hero, can die. This perfectly set up the revelation that Roman Bridger, Sidney's secret half-brother, was the mastermind. Scream 4, 2011. A decade later, the rules adapt again during the remake craze, Halloween, Friday the 13th reboots. Characters mock the endless cycles of reimaginings while stressing don't F with the original. Meta within a meta, a reboot warning inside what is itself a legacy sequel. Scream 2022, dubbed a requel, the film skewers modern nostalgia culture. Mindy Meeks, Martin Randy's niece, lays out the new commandments. Legacy characters are prime targets. The killer is usually a toxic fan out to fix the franchise. This directly critiques the wave of fan service reboots like Star Wars The Force Awakens and Halloween 2018. Crafting the meta. Williamson has explained in interviews that he deliberately left the original rules scene for the end of his first draft, treating it like a thesis statement for the whole movie. Each subsequent film's rules speech was written late in production so the writers could react to the current state of horror cinema. Craven viewed these moments as a way to talk with the audience, calling them a running conversation with horror fans about where the genre is headed. Cultural impact. Randy's first monologue became an instant quotable. Entertainment Weekly called it the Rosetta Stone of 90s slasher movies. Fans still debate new unwritten rules in podcasts and online forums, extending the metagame beyond the films themselves. The speeches influenced later genre films like Cabin in the Woods from 2012 and The Final Girls 2015, both of which feature characters openly discussing how horror plots work. Legacy. What started as a single party scene gag turned into a franchise signature that mirrors 25 years of horror history. By updating the rules in each installment, Scream ensures that its satire evolves alongside the genre it celebrates. So when you revisit the Scream films, listen closely to those late-night monologues. They're more than funny asides. They're the franchise itself holding a mirror up to every horror trend, inviting us all to play the game. Randy's secret cameo in Scream 3. Halfway through Scream 3, Sidney, Dewey, and Gale gather in a dingy Hollywood trailer to watch a VHS tape. The screen flickers, and impossibly there's Randy Meeks, the wisecracking horror nerd who was murdered in the second film. How it was conceived. Fans were furious when Randy died in Scream 2. Writer Kevin Williamson, tied up on other projects, wasn't sure he'd return for Part 3, but knew audiences wanted closure. Replacement screenwriter Aaron Krueger worked with Wes Craven to create a posthumous cameo, allowing Randy to keep delivering his famous horror rules. Jamie Kennedy shot the video in a single afternoon on the back lot of the Hollywood 3 set. The production disguised the scene on call sheets as family video so even crew members wouldn't leak it. The hidden touches. Look closely at the shelves behind Randy's chair. You'll spot VHS copies of Halloween, Friday the 13th, and A Nightmare on Elm Street. Craven's personal nod to films that inspired Scream. The camera occasionally wobbles as if handled by a relative, reinforcing the idea that it's an authentic home movie rather than a studio production. In early drafts, Randy's sister Martha, Heather Matarazzo, wasn't supposed to appear at all. Craven added her delivery of the tape to make the reveal more believable. Why it matters. It preserves Scream's tradition of updating the rules, this time focusing on trilogy tropes. The killer is superhuman, anyone, even the main character, can die. The past will come back to bite you. It also gives Randy a meta second life. He becomes the franchise's own Greek chorus, speaking from beyond the grave. Legacy. Fans still debate whether Randy recorded more tapes. Kevin Williamson hinted in a 2011 interview that Randy might have made a whole library, teasing the possibility of future discoveries. This cameo cemented Randy as the franchise's conscious and is often cited as one of the smartest retcon moments in 90s horror. Killer voices from the past. From the very first phone call in 1996 to the latest sequel, Ghostface's voice is always Roger L. Jackson. But listen closely. Past killers echo in the background. Layered audio tricks. Sound designer Dane Davis revealed that key calls contain subliminal whispers, processed snippets from previous films. In Scream 3, during the call to Sidney's secure house, engineers layered faint recordings of Billy Loomis and Stu Macher beneath Jackson's primary track. Audible only with high-quality headphones. Scream 4 features a brief distorted clip of Debbie Salt's scream during the barn sequence, mixed at a volume too low for casual viewers. Purpose and payoff. These hidden echoes remind fans that the Ghostface identity is a legacy, not a person. Anyone can wear the mask, but the voice of terror remains constant. They also reward hardcore listeners. Countless Reddit threads analyze spectrograms of the calls to prove which killers are whispering. Continuing the tradition. For Scream 6, sound editors hid a barely audible "Hello, Sidney" from the 1996 film under the opening murder sequence, a circle back to where it all began. Roger L. Jackson has said he enjoys recording bonus phrases never intended for the main dialogue, just so the mixers have Easter eggs to hide. Legacy. These sonic breadcrumbs tie the franchise together more subtly than any cameo. They're a reminder that in Scream, history literally whispers in every kill. And there you have it, 7 hidden gems buried across 27 years of Scream mayhem. From Wes Craven mopping halls in a Freddy sweater to the subway stuffed with horror posters and the ghostly whispers of past killers. These details prove that every frame of this franchise rewards the sharp-eyed and sharp-eared. What did you catch that we didn't mention? Drop your favorite discovery in the comments. Maybe it's a prop in the background, or a sly line delivery, or a sound cue only you noticed. Until next time, stay safe, follow the rules, and remember, in the Scream universe, the killer could be anyone.